It's all about the jobs, jobs, and jobs, and candidates like Mitt Romney are making the economy the centerpiece of their campaigns. Is the president doing all he can to fix the economy? Earlier, I spoke with Senator John Barrasso of Wyoming. Take a listen.
The president doesn't understand the connection between his terrible policies and the impact they're having on jobs in the economy in our country. If you take a look at this 9.1% unemployment, you say, why is it? Well, it's taxes, it's regulations, it's increased expenses on energy with his cap-and-trade approach, which his Environmental Protection Agency is forcing down the throats of Americans. It's the health care mandates that businesses are saying, why in the world would I ever want to hire somebody right now? There's so much uncertainty out there that people are afraid to make that commitment to hire others.
You know, when I saw Mitt Romney's new ad that points out, look, 9.1% unemployment came out last Thursday, Friday morning, and Mr. Obama that day said, yeah, you know, this higher unemployment, just a bump in the road. When I saw Romney take that and make it his ad campaign, I thought, fantastic. What do you make of that?
Well, I think it is jobs. That's what I hear about in Wyoming as I travel around the state. Jobs, the economy, the debt, and the spending. We're spending money we don't have. We have a $14 trillion debt. And get to the basis of what 9.1% unemployment means. It means there are that many people looking for work who can't find somebody to employ them.
So you point out that businesses say, why should we hire more with all the things going on in the economy? Are you saying that maybe the new 7%, 8%, 9% unemployment is going to be fully employed?
Well, not anything that I want to support. I want to support things that are going to make it easier and cheaper to create private sector jobs in the country. And, you know, the president, when he came into office, it was a tough situation. He made it worse. He absolutely made it worse. His policies are making it tougher and more expensive to create, for the private sector to create jobs in this country.
So three issues seem to be resonating. A lot of people who do business say there are three things that bother them about the economy. Obamacare, number one, taxes, number two, and the cost of fuel, cap and trade, whatever. What's most important to you?
Well, all three are very important because they're all putting a wet blanket on the economy. They're all making it harder for people to make a decision to hire. You know, people say, well, do they just need a loan to start a business? People aren't looking for loans. They want to be left alone. And you get the government mandates, the increased expense, the pain at the pump on energy, the increased expense of health care, all of those things. I mean, Wyoming is an energy state. And we know how important it is for us to have energy security in this country. So the energy issue, the pain at the pump, is something to me is an issue not just of our energy security, it's an issue of national security. We really ought to be focused on that.
The shale, the fracking, the shale, there's some scrutiny coming towards it because there are those on the left, the environmentalists, who say if you frack and you crack the rock, sometimes that could actually drop some hydrocarbons into the water table. You're in Wyoming. You're an energy-producing state. Is that a legitimate concern?
We've been doing that process to get that shale gas out for about 60 years, safely. We have all the sources of energy in Wyoming, the oil, the gas, the coal. I mean, there are people that are trying to shut down coal-fired power plants. But look what the president does. The Secretary of Commerce, the president's opportunity to nominate somebody. You say, what does the Commerce Department do? Well, they're supposed to make American companies more innovative at home and more competitive abroad. So he nominates somebody who founded one of the most extreme environmental groups in the history of this country. He's a guy that said of this Waxman Markey cap and trade, he said, well, it's a moderate, but it's acceptable. He called it a pretty good way to hide tax.
Sure, you're talking about,
you want the Secretary of Commerce? He's not supposed to be hiding taxes. He's supposed to be helping businesses.
You're talking about John Bryson, who's going to be, he's nominated for Secretary of Commerce. You also have Stephen Chu, who's the Energy Secretary. We have Lisa Jackson at the EPA, and we have Ken Salazar at the Department of the Interior. The four pillars, the four posts of higher price fuels.
That's their goal, and Stephen Chu at Energy said that. He said he wants energy cost, pain at the pump, to go to up to $8, $9, or $10 a gallon. Ken Salazar, when he was in the Senate, and they asked, when would you allow deep shore exploration off the coast? You know, what about $5 a gallon? He even said at $10 a gallon, he wouldn't be for it. But even President Obama, when he was a candidate, he talked about cap and trade and his position on coal. He said under his policies, the cost of electricity would necessarily skyrocket.
Yep, that was his words, quoted perfectly. That's Senator John Barrasso of Wyoming. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Thanks for having me.